Three, two, one. Good morning, good morning, good morning. And how are we doing today, boys and girls? Another fantastic Sunday morning. Yep. What is that? Yeah, whatever. So, how are y'all? I am doing fantastic. So let's get everything bumped up here, shared around, and started up, and get on with the morning. Eileen, good morning. How are we doing today? Let's get this shared to the Book of Faces first. And copy that at clipboard. Facebook. Alright, that is shared. So let's take that. Lovely. How about yourself? I'm doing pretty good. I was able to go out last night to a bar, see a bunch of friends. Well, mostly okay. Just getting over being sick. This week was a nightmare. An absolute nightmare. For like 16,000 different reasons, but it's over. We're starting up on a new week. And yeah, we're going to be getting things going well. Ken, good morning. How are you today, brother? Pop out that chat. Bloop. Select. Copy. Alright, so let's do the doobly-doo here. Chat scroll. Properties. Paste. Alright. And let's fade over. Bloop. Alright. So, at the bar last night, and I wanted to look good. You know? So, I had my dress kilt. Got everything together. Got my spot on. And I need to lose a little bit of weight. Because I'm about 1.5 pounds away from not fitting my dress kilt. Yeah. So this week was nuts. And I can't share all the details with it, you know, of everything with y'all. But so yeah, like the town where I have my shop just exploded on Sunday with craziness. You know, stadies all over the place, and cops from the other town all over the place looking for these kids that were just playing up in the park. Some lady made a very nasty false police report that could have gotten some of those kids killed because they were too loud and disturbing her dog. But she reported it as an assault and underage rape. So kids were all, you know, just because the kids were playing in the park and they were being loud. And then after those kids ran and got dispersed, one of those kids ended up getting attacked by a dog across the street. Then there was a dead cat that was found that the owner came up to me and asked for a box to retrieve her cat. Which, I mean, of course I'm going to find a box and make sure she's able to take her pet. You know, because that's sad. And I don't like grieving. And then later that night, my sink broke. The sink that my landlord, we're going to use that term very loosely, the very loosely genius landlord, fixed the week prior. He duct taped it back together. And then my parents' dog, Husky, got a new chew toy at about 3 a.m. Very similar to Pepe Le Pew. And it just, everything cascaded from there. Ended up getting sick, taking a few days off, blah, 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 blah. And so here we are. Didn't get much done on the bed because of everything. So how was all of yours week? Did you guys make any good art? Did you sell anything fun? Because, like, good Lord. I am in the process of well, first off, dealing with the rest of this chest congestion. I didn't have anything bad. It was just like a post-nasal drip and that whole upper respiratory yuckiness. But for whatever reason, whenever I get sick, I deal with it for like weeks after I'm done being sick. It's awful. Let's see, Eileen, no art, just working and planning a birthday trip with friends in September. That's cool. And Ken, spent a couple hours at the new Hobby Lobby, picked up a couple of small molds. Ooh, I see that's open now. I will have to check that out. It's good having a little bit of variety because there's really only like Michael's. I mean, if you want to go to Edwardsville, there was Joanne Fabrics and stuff over there, but a bit of a hike. So, since I was more homebound than anything else this week, I have been working on, or trying to work on, making myself some kilts. I want to start wearing kilts at the shop instead of shorts. Mostly because I can control the material, 100% cotton, as opposed to all these, I mean, they're comfortable, these super stretch blends and stuff, but they do not hold up well to fire and sparks, and they're not very protective against blades and splinters. God, it's huge. 2 hours there, didn't even finish looking around. Nice. So I figure if I'm going to wear shorts, I'm not really going to be protecting my lower legs anyways. Usually not a big deal. And I don't like wearing pants. So, kilts it is. So I was trying to do all these, good, fancy pleatings and all this other jazz, and, well, it's been a struggle. Spent a whole day getting everything washed out, getting material pre-shrunk, and I got all the pleats in that I wanted. I was doing box pleats. So knife pleats are basically, they just kind of zigzag back and forth. And because I'm using cotton, I'm going to have to sew the edges of the pleats to keep them nice and crisp. Not necessary, but if I'm going to do it, if I'm going to put my label on it, I want it to look at least reasonably nice. So I got everything pinned and ironed down, and I was really happy with myself. And I stepped back, I looked at it. Now, the thing about pleats, and I'm not a tailor or seamstress by any stretch of the imagination. I can do it. I'm not great at it. The pleating has to be even. You want all the lines parallel. Now that doesn't affect like I said, it doesn't affect function, but it does make it look crappy if everything's misaligned. And some of my pleats were 2 inches, some were 2 1/4. Not super bad variation. I had one pleat that was 3 1/2 inches. A couple of them had, you know, kind of crooked lines that came down. So, and I didn't hem the bottom. So I had to undo all of that. Start from scratch. I was pissed. So, start back from scratch. Try and do the box pleats. And I see a thing where you can make like a template out of cardboard. Well, they don't make cardboard or poster board big enough for what I need. Which, okay, that's fine. That's fine. We can work with this. No, we can't. No, we can't. I got some mat board, figuring well, it's a little bit heavier than cardboard, but it'll be fine. Take a little extra gusto. I got all these parallel lines drawn in, and I took my bone fold and really put a good crease perfectly up all these things and got everything. I started to fold this stuff, and it all fell apart. And same thing with everything else I've done. So I don't know if it's a function of the actual material I'm working with, if it's a function of my skill level, or I'm sure it's a combination of 6 different things, and I only have the experience to label 3 of them or 2 of them. But first kilt, so I'm going to do knife pleats. They don't look as good as box pleats, but perfect is the enemy of done. And if I want to start wearing these things, I need to get it done. So that's where I'm going to start. Ken, send a pic of the molds you bought. Ah, cool. Dog feet and roses. Were you the one who did you make those? Were those your resin pulls that you put on there? That's neat. Yeah. That rose turned out fantastic. If that rose had a deep, oh, nice. Like if that rose, instead of just being the very top quarter of the thing, if it had like the rest of the bulb in there, I could think of quite a few uses for it. But that, just having that top quarter, you know, like a glue-on decoration for things, you could do a lot with that. Very nice. And I realized I said I was going to go on a cleaning spree in here. What's up, buddy? I'm still on my live stream, so you got to figure your game out for yourself, okay?
I just want to shoot right in, and I want to get the robot.
Okay.
In here.
Well, you got to do that in your game, buddy. If there's any issues, when I'm done with my live stream, I'll come out and fix them for you, okay? I promise. there are fondant molds. Fascinating. Fondant molds. Well, I mean, with that rose, can you really get the fondant to, like, in that mold, there's a lot of, like, deep crevices and stuff. I don't see how you'd be able to get the fondant, first off, into it to get the right level of detail. And second, like, fondant's kind of, I know it has some stiffness to it, but it's still pretty supple, isn't it? Like, how would you be able to get the, first off, how would you be able to get it into all that detail? And second, how would you be able to pull it out without ruining it? Like, that just doesn't seem to make sense to me. Cool nonetheless, but I mean, you know? Maybe I'm overthinking it. I'm probably overthinking it. Yeah, that turned out very nice. Well done. But, yeah, so working on the working on the kilt this week, and I kind of neglected to come in here and do the cleaning. I really do need to clean this area though and get everything up and running and together, just because it's really starting to become a problem. Again, it may be for melted chocolate, but they weren't in the resin section. You know, there's this stuff, I forget it, I need to send you, it's the Craftsman. And he's some sort of guy with a southern drawl, and he actually does all, you don't see his face or hands at any point in his videos. He does everything with a, like a hand puppet. It's very fascinating. Very soft voice, very pleasant to listen to. The Craftsman. And this is your host, the Craftsman. Anyways, he has this stuff, and I used it. Do I have the mold here anywhere? I don't think. Pretty sure I saw it. I showed it to you though. It's a 2-part putty epoxy to do what he calls it texture sampling. And I've used it before already, and I've grabbed a few textures off things that I didn't want to lose. I think I'm going to be doing a lot of that in the near future once I get my foundry and stuff set up. Okay, so the main gist of it is, you mix this stuff together and you smash it onto something. Now this stuff isn't super high temperature, I don't think, so you can't cast like aluminum or anything into it. You might be able to cast pewter, but resin it'll definitely hold up for. I did the rondelles on those old church pews. I sampled those textures just because they're really pretty, and I don't know what will happen to them in the next couple of years, and some of them came out really nice. So I wanted to grab those textures and preserve them. Is that one? That's one. That's one. Okay, so these were just small samples. I don't know where the big one is, but I did a tool handle that I thought I could do some sort of like pendant or something from. So I got that, and then this was from this is from a piece of bark. I was thinking about like casting resin and making a rings or something out of. So, you know, this would be the pretty side here. I'd pour the resin into it until it got to its well depth, which I guess it would change depending on what axis this is on. Which would be cool in and of itself, because then if you reset it manually each time, each ring would come out slightly different, even though it's all coming from the same mold and stuff. And so, you know, the ring would sit on your hand like that.
What are you? Okay.
I'm on my live stream.
I can't.
Go play your game, buddy. I'll be out shortly. Don't you worry.
Oh my God!
Well, pick it up and move along. I'll be out shortly. But you know, things like that. I actually want to start, like, one project he did is he cast. It was a different it was a different. I think it's silicone. That this stuff is, but he used a different silicone, which is a harder durometer, but it's more terrible. There's trade-ons and trade-offs, and he started making pewter walnuts and pewter pecans that he found. He found like a couple of really nice ones, so he cast them, and then he started making his own pewter necklaces out of those. Very cool. Very cool stuff. But it seems like down at Craven and Casters, the place that's selling my earrings and such, the jewelry down there is doing very well. So maybe I'll expand the line. Because if that's what's selling and that's what people want, give the people what they want, because I want their money. Boop.
Why are you eating a cookie?
Because I'm an adult. And that means I can make poor decisions for myself, and no one can tell me no.
Why can no one can tell you no?
Because you know how I can tell you no, and I have authority over you because I'm your father?
Yeah.
Once you become an adult, when you're not at work, you can pretty much do whatever you want, as long as it's not against the law. Which is great and awful at the same time.
Great and awful? Why is it great and awful?
It's great because I can eat a whole pack of cookies, drive down to Taco Bell, and spend $50 on tacos at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's awful because I can spend $50 of tacos at 2 o'clock in the morning and go right to bed, gain a bunch of weight, and might not make it to the bathroom in time. Trade on, trade off for everything. Pros and cons to everything you do. I'm not speaking from experience, of course. I would never do something that crazy. Close. Connor. I love you. Hey, eyes. You're not going to be in here just making noise. Do you understand?
I don't.
If you do want to just make noise, you can go out. You can go out into the living room, or you'll sit in timeout. Understood?
Understood.
Hey. Yeah, right. Yeah, so like, yeah, I have the freedom to do everything I want. The problem is I can do anything I want. Sometimes what I want ain't a good idea, and no one's gonna stop me. People will just sit back and laugh. And now maybe I haven't spent $200 on Taco Bell at 2 a.m. But the level of stupid things I've done is it's approached that to an alarming degree. And it wasn't a whole pack of cookies I ate before I went out and did it. It was maybe several drinks. But at some point, we've all been there. Or I'm just a borderline alcoholic. Who knows? I can blame it on going to college. Wasting my time there. Let's get some light in here. Okay. It's a little bit better. I think that's a little bit better. Warms the room up. However, I do want to replace that light with one of those, I got these color changing LEDs that are fantastic. Really helps out. So, we're halfway through the day. What is everyone's plans for today? And what are your plans for the week? Any projects you're working on? Anything cool? Like I said, I'm going to be working on kilts. Hopefully cleaning this area up. My big thing is I want to get all my jewelry stuff into one container. And I think I'm going to keep the vast majority of the jewelry stuff here. Because this is where I do most of it anyways. Yeah, except for like forging or casting. And even then, I'd probably do most of the finish work here anyways. Going to work. Yeah.
I'm shooting the robots.
Ah, good. Remember, aim small, miss small. Okay?
Okay.
One thing I'd like to try and do today, if I'm able to get the this room cleaned and the work, no projects other than the yard, I'd like to crack this guy open here and see what I can do in this. Now this is one of my lights, and for some reason it has completely stopped working. The lights just don't light up. Now I'm not sure if it's just dust buildup from being in the shop, or what's going on. So I think the best thing, I got these super cheap, so I can't complain too much that it's not working. But they are expensive lights, and yeah. You know what? We have a half hour. Let's see if we can do something with this. I also need to find some way to store all this vinyl I've been getting, because good lord, this is going to build up and cause a real problem. And I'm not sure how to store it. So if you have any clever or crafty tips for storing the vinyls, I'd appreciate hearing about it. Let's see if we can open this up and see what the problem is. Looks like it's all these small screws that are the connective tissue for the backing. We'll see what's on there from there. I also want to finish getting the furniture in the yard, new feet on them, and also spray painted. Just to give them another year or two of life, at least before I have to paint them again. I know I will eventually have to sandblast them, and that'll be fun, but that'll be a problem for future Chris, or maybe I can just afford better lawn furniture in 3 to 5 years' time. Blue blue. Okay. Eileen, work, no projects other than the yard. What are you doing in the yard? Like what? Any? Is it just general yard work, or are you doing something fun in the yard? And Ken, we bought a cart to keep the Cricut on, and it has drawers below it. You know what? That wouldn't be a bad idea, because I do have all this underspace on this for this guy here, that I have it high enough that I could put my my desk underneath there, but there's no real reason, like my desk, like there's no real reason for me to get my stuff under there. Under this table, yes. Under this table, yes, but under these guys, no. So perhaps having a pull out 1 or 2 of those, like carts you said, perhaps having those would probably be a good idea, I think. Especially if I clear out all that crap there. I could easily get 1 or 2 of those carts in there. You know? Mount the power strip to the underside, put 2 things in there, then I could have some stuff for the laser under there, I could have some stuff for the Cricut under there, and if I do one for over here, I could have some stuff, all the stuff for the 3D printer right there. Bing, bang, boom, everything's done. Or everything, at least everything's accounted for and organized for those. Yeah, something like that I think will definitely be. It definitely be a. That'll be a necessity going in the future. Ooh. The back came off nice and easy. Yeah, so that was just for that there. Okay, so a lot of wood shavings and dust, but I mean, like, duh. So that was just for that guy. So, oh, so it's a bolt anyway, so I wouldn't be able to do anything even if I wanted to. Okay. Now let's see. Thing is, I'm not even 100% sure what I'd be looking for to begin with. You know, all these connections are soldered, which makes it nice. Maybe it just crapped out, which is entirely possible, you know? It is entirely possible that this thing just died. Not plausible, but possible. So, let's get some power. See if there's any arcing or sparks. Because these are very good. These are very nice lights. I very much like them. Right, those should all be on. We're getting nothing. That's on full power. Yeah. So we take. So that's the ground. That's fine. Nice wire seam. Loose or burnt. Really junky solder job though. Huh. Doesn't look like anything's lying across terminals or anything. Just kind of did. It does make me sad when there's stuff that I like that I just can't save. At least. I don't think there's any saving this. If there is, I'm not the man to do it. I mean, really, you can save anything. It'd just be a matter of finding where the problem is, taking that piece off, getting a new one, putting it on. It's not like everything's not labeled. It's just, and the problem is, the good one over here is when I turn it on, instead of being like a consistent light source, it's starting to develop a little flicker. I only paid like $30 for them, but they're like $200 lights. Big bank of LEDs. They have gels and stuff, and very nice, very expensive when you buy them new. Very good for filming, very good for just general shop work too. Like when you really need a lot of light and detail, these are lifesavers. But I don't know. I wish I did. Like I said, I wish I could save it. I just put it back together, set it off to the side. But yeah, I definitely need I need better organization in here, and I just need to get rid of a lot of crap. You know, a lot of things in this office are useless or irrelevant. But yeah, Ken, I think that's definitely how I'm gonna have to go. Is get a some sort of a crafting cart or something. And I do suppose each machine would kind of warrant its own cart, you know, underneath it. You know, one for the laser, one for the... And it makes sense because my regular printer has this caddy I built for it to hold all the paper and the different types of paper and the inks and the cardstock. So why would the 3D printer be any different? I could put all the filaments underneath there and all the tools for it right underneath there. Any spare parts I get for it, put it right underneath. Bang, bang, boom. Same thing for the Cricut. You know, it can hold basically all its tools. And most of its spare parts, but requires all these mats and all these different vinyls which take up space, and then you get scrap vinyls and transfer vinyls and all this other junk that I need to account for. So yeah, I think like my leatherworking stuff got its own bench and several drawers and everything.
I just was trying to get the roll on and it didn't fall down.
No, you didn't?
Yeah, I didn't.
Well, that happens sometimes, buddy.
And then I was pointing the gun at the robot.
See, at the end of the day, the point of video games is to enjoy yourself and improve your mind. So, you just gotta try again and again and again until you get really good at it. And those obstacles no longer are obstacles. Ollies for 20 bucks, huh? Well, that would definitely be going to even Walmart. I mean, I'm sure Sam's Club would have something that's a decent price too. And if I remember, we have an Ollie's that's not too terribly far away from us here. So maybe that'll be on my list of travels today. I know the biggest thing for me to address in here is that corner that's all the way back there. And then I can get my sewing table set up in there.
Maybe later, Bob.
Come on, buddy. I'll be out in a few minutes. About 10 minutes, okay?
Maybe.
So yeah, I think that's what I'm going to have to do. Hey, Connor, give me 10 minutes, and I'll be out there with you, okay? Oops. So yeah, it looks like my day's going to involve a lot of cleaning and a lot of sewing today. I didn't get to do those rings this week like I wanted to. So that means I have to do them this week because I'm going to be going out of town for a little while. And whether I'm in town or out of town, that wedding's going to happen. And they want me to, they want to have those wedding rings for the wedding. So I kind of got to get on that. I have all the tools. I did find my ring mandrel. There's this guy right here.
Look at the snake.
Another reason why I need to organize all of my organize all my jewelry stuff, because it took me forever to find that, and it would be awful if I lost it again. Joe? Yes. Hey Connor, if I have to tell you again, you're going to be going in timeout, okay buddy? Out of the office. I'll be out in about 10 minutes. Okay? 3, 2, I know it's not entirely his fault. Excuse me. But he has really been riding my patience this week, testing bounds, and he's a kid. That's what he's supposed to. He's supposed to find the limit. So I can't get too mad at him for, you know, doing what he's supposed to do as a kid. But that also doesn't mean I have to like it. You know? It's a balancing act of both will and patience. But once I have, you know, all my situation in here cleaned up and that kilt made, I know I will feel much better. I got the shop cleaned up a lot. Not to where I want it, but significantly improved, and that's improved my mood going in there. This is gonna kill me. One moment. I apologize. Actually, let me just do this. That's handy. My nose is super loud when I blow it, so I can't do that cute little no. Sounds like an elephant having an aneurysm on a rock concert. But I've noticed my mood and my productivity has gone up quite a bit since taking a day or two to just really clean, you know, deep clean and reset the shop. So, yeah. I'm sure if I do the same in here, the same thing will happen, right? Sure, why not? So yeah, I'm going to be doing a lot of cleaning and sewing today, because the more comfortable I am, the better I work. The better my headspace is, the better I work. So get that kilt done, get in here cleaned, and maybe I'll look at using a different fabric for the next kilt. We'll see. I'm using 100% cotton canvas for this one. I think I should have been using duck cloth. That's what the cloak back there is made out of, and that thing is holding up beautifully. And I think the utility kilts they sell are also made out of duck cloth, I think. But hey, it was nice. It was soft. So I'm gonna give it a shot, you know? Gonna give it the old college try, and see what happens. I mean, it's still $13 a yard, so. They don't have it in black? No, I suppose they do. $13 a yard is it's pretty steep, don't you think? Where else sells fabric? Specifically duck cloth. Michael's. Maybe. Because, like, I don't need it to be like, I don't know, maybe I'm being too picky with my selections. Maybe I'm not. Yeah. Oh, geez. Well, guys, this is the hour. Ken, you got to run. See you next week. See you later, brother. It's been great talking to you, and thank you for the advice about the cricket. That's definitely gonna. I'm definitely gonna consider that, and I think one for each machine would be good. Really clean this area up and get me on the right track in here. So, guys, I appreciate it. I appreciate you. Go over to my Patreons, give them some love. There's some awesome people. Patreon.com/Knightsmith. Even $1 a month helps. And thank you for helping make this world better, one kerf at a time. And I'll see you all next week.